Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm going to do a little video on a special truck that we just acquired. Actually, I've known this truck since I was only 4 years old. My dad bought this truck brand new. You can see there's some pictures, and I looked on the back of these photos, and there we had horses back in the day. But 1984 was when these pictures were taken. So this truck was only 5 years old. You can see how nice it is. Let that zoom in there. But show you here. So this truck, there's Dad getting pushed in at the shop there where we used to live. It's my Uncle Gary pushing it back. Looks like the motor's still in it. But for those, that's the old school way, right? For those with the keen eye, you can see that is not a 350 Chevrolet. And this being a 1979 with that tailgate badge, this was a 5.7 diesel originally. And I'll walk around the truck here in a minute. That's them pulling the, that's not a diesel obviously. The diesel gave up the ghost, and that's a 455. And of course everything was painted orange back then. 350. And I'm pretty sure it came out of this 76 Impala if I remember right. But as the years went on, it started getting some rust. That's my sister and the neighborhood boy, Eric. And so Dad decided to redo it. So this truck, we went everywhere in. This is like your everyday driver now. Dad owned a Big A auto parts store. Those are 15x8 Ultras. You know, I think this truck, she was probably a year or two old there. Looks like 2 years old actually. So that would have been like 90, 91, I think is when this truck was redone. I was only a sophomore, I believe, in high school, somewhere around there. But anyway, there's Dad with my sister Jessie. But he's gone now. God bless him, but that's Doug Byer helping put the patch panels in. You know, this bed was just starting to rust right there, and so it just warranted those patch panels. It got painted in the shop. You can see right there. And that was another square body we had. So this is what started it all, for people that kind of ask me what started it all for you. That's my brother Mike. But I think that's Dad painting the Blazer, because that's a Blazer tailgate. So everything we had was white. So we had an 86 Monte Carlo SS, there's the 79, and there's the 80 K5. You can see it has a V22 and 80 because it's got the square headlights. But you can see all three of them there and how nice everything looks. But this truck went everywhere. That's on the way to like Steamboat Springs. That's also what started my motorcycle riding. That's not mine, that's my dad's. I was pretty young at the time for this kind of race. This was a up in the mountains type of race. But that topper right there, the OG, everybody, we rode in that all the way from, unheard of now, absolutely unheard of now, but we rode all the way from Kansas, Abilene, Kansas, all the way up to Steamboat Springs in the back of that. Dad would take vent hose and run it into the back here so it would go off the heater and we'd have heat in the back. Yeah, you can see there's the original hubcaps. He always ran the Goodyear tires, the same as the highway patrol would run. And then this is, yeah, very cool. Still got a lot of pictures. And then this, I just ran through GM Heritage today because the SPID label is gone, or at least I can't find it. But you can see right there, diesel, 5.7 diesel, Lloyd Nussler Chevrolet, Jetmore, which I know he bought it in Jetmore, but I don't remember if he bought it from that Chevrolet dealership or not. My guess is he probably did. I'm pretty sure he did. But he might have bought it from an individual too. I need to ask him. But that was a $9,700 truck, list price, which is about $45,000 in today's money. Which I don't even know. I think 45 can get you a stripped down truck. But there's everything right there. So this is only, you can get these for about 50 bucks. They'll pull it from their archives, gmheritage.com. If you're looking for one for your truck. 1977 and newer. They cannot do 77 and earlier. So I'm gonna go out here and I'll show you the truck here. Of course, there's the Spirit of 76 right there. Just had my boy's dirt bike. We're getting ready to do a top end on it. But this thing, I think he quit driving this around 06, 07, somewhere around there. This was his everyday driver until then. It's what he drove every day. You can see it looks a lot different than those pictures I showed you. Still has the Ultras on it. And my brother had to put tires, some type of used tires on it because it kept blowing tires out just from just sitting. You can see those wheels are not all curb rashed. They just need to be reconditioned. I don't know what I'm going to do with the truck. You know, in order to take it to that level is a small fortune if anybody has ever done that. But so this also has the V22. You can see with the chrome. So 1979 Silverado C10 5.7 originally, and then he ended up putting a 455 Oldsmobile, I believe, in it. Ran that for many years, and now it's just a 350. The thing about this truck, and you can see it's bad. Like it's got a chunk of metal sitting there. My brother put that in there. My brother used this as a trash truck for a lot of years because it just sat at my brother's place. And but the windows still work. You give it a couple pumps and it starts right up. Dad always had trucks that just ran impeccable. But he put this seat cover on when we restored it. And if I remember right, the carpet and everything was still in good shape, so this is all still original. It's got, Dad thinks it has over 300,000. It's turned 2 or 3 times. But this truck I grew up in. She's pretty rough now. It needs a bed, it needs doors, it needs fender hood. Probably a cab. But sorry about the wind here, it's pretty darn windy. But so a lot of people, you know, I've got some trucks in here that were Dad owned. One is the Spirit of 76, another is this blue stepper. And then if you follow along on our page or our YouTube, you'll see we did one for Aubrey and Russell Evans. Her dad bought a truck, had a truck 79 3/4 ton that we did for him. And thoughts and prayers to those guys. Her dad unfortunately just recently passed away, and I'm glad we were able to get the truck done for them. But you can see it's got a rally on this one because it actually tire kept going flat, and I think my brother still has that. But so you can see she's a little crusty. Still has the rock guards on it. Yeah. I've had some bad ones, and unfortunately, this is a bad one. The problem with that is you go to put a cab on it, and it's really not even the same truck anymore. I mean, you can switch your VIN, even though you're not supposed to, but I would never plan on getting rid of this truck. So that really doesn't matter to me. But one odd thing about this truck, and you learn something every day doing these, is that Silverado, pretty loaded up, and I thought it was a standard feature, but it does not have a, sorry about that, hood release inside. It never did. You'd have a hole about right there with the grommet. It'd come through. In fact, there's the little thing so it can have the little loop to go through. But it doesn't have that. It has the hole in the radiator support where your cable would go through and everything, because I'm sure they were pretty standardized, but it's never had a inside release, which I find very odd. But so this truck originally obviously had a Hydro Boost, being a diesel. Dad converted all that, and of course your motor's orange, but I don't know if that's still the same motor in those pictures I showed you. I'd have to ask my brother. I don't believe it is, but yeah. We'll take it to the power, or we'll power wash it tomorrow. I'll have Braden, my boy Braden, power wash all that stuff and get it all power washed out. But still has the big 4-core diesel radiator in it, or a big block, or if it's a 4-wheel drive, the 400. So up until the 6.2, they used the same radiator, and then the 6.2s in 82, they were a lot bigger, and the cooler lines ran differently. But you can still use these, and I love these radiators. You get them good and clean and flowing, they're good radiators. But anyway, I just wanted to show you a little insight of kind of what got me started. Oh, shut this here. You know, being around it as a kid, growing up in them, you know, they have a soul. This old truck still has a soul, and whether or not you want to fix it up and get it going again, I'd like to. I have the know-how, and I have all the parts and everything. I can do it. It's just I'm a little debatable on the. I need to dig into it and see exactly how bad the cab is, because I'm pretty sure it's missing pieces. But those Ultra wheels, those wheels are actually backwards from when Dad had them. He actually had them digging, not going this way like a kind of a flame. He had them actually going the other way. And these are directional to where they will only go on one side, so you can match them all, both sides going the same way, if that makes sense. But yeah, 1979, nickname Old Whitey. It's been called Old Whitey forever. But I know to some people it's just a truck, but when you grow up, you know, since you were, I was born in 76, so I was only 4 years old when this truck was acquired. You know, and this is all you've known. There's been other ones come and gone, newer ones, stuff like that, but what do you do with it? So comment, like, share, subscribe. We'd appreciate it. We'll put this on all our socials. Kind of wanted to do something a little different. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and gals, because I know everybody, you know, whether it's Ford, Dodge, Chevrolet, GMC, you know, I'm sure there was some trucks somewhere in somebody's life, grandpa, uncle, parents, that you remember riding in or whatnot. So I'm sure we will restore it, but it won't be anytime soon. As you can see, got to get this one done. It's going to be debuting at C10 Shindig next month, so it needs to get finished. Don't know if it'll be 100% finished for that show, but it'll at least be presentable. Trim will be on it. It'll be run. I mean, it runs and drives, but I just drove it out of the shop the other day. But and then eventually we will walk around that one. That is a truck that the frame and everything's kind of done, but we've got to do some other stuff to it, and of course it needs body work and all put back together. And this one's going to be a complete. This one will eventually look like to the standard of this one. So that's the engine and transmission that'll be going in it. So stay tuned for all that. And then of course we still have some trucks to part out, and that's a truck that we've got to get the body work done and do some other things too, and then some other stuff. So we're pretty busy here, but I appreciate everybody taking the time to allow me to kind of show you where it all started. And I guess you could say it all started with old Whitey. Growing up as a kid and seeing Dad redo it and work on it, and it's daily. This thing was a family truckster, but it also worked. So hauling everything around. All right, everybody. Have a great Thursday. Thanks for following along, watching. Kind of a long, drawn-out one, but we appreciate it, and we will see you on the next one.